over the past year, we've actually seen the Active Travel Fund being used to create temporary cycle lanes. Some of them have been controversial, some of them have been widely cheered and accepted, and we need to get to a place where they're all cheered and accepted. I continue to use that fund and encourage councils to use that fund to actually look at the planning around key routes and key roads to make more pedestrianisation and more walking and cycling safer and more accessible and more easier as a flow through. I mean, one of the comments you'll always see on some posts on Facebook, right? I drive past a cycle lane, there's no cyclists in it, because they're getting through those cycle lanes from A to B quicker than a car that's stuck in traffic. Encouraging and supporting the use of electric vehicles across the city region to help reduce air pollution in the short term will aid in the accessibility of cycling as well and walking. But in the longer term, we want less vehicles on our roads and less journeys done by car, and that works in with the whole planning method around new houses, new businesses, new public services being in that 20-minute community, where if you only have to walk for no more than 20 minutes to get to a bus stop, to a train station, to a tram station, to your local GP, to your local school, to a set of shops, and that will encourage better personal health and fitness amongst the people of Greater Manchester. The one thing, we want more people cycling, we want more people walking, and we want that across the board. But we do have to be aware that in some areas, and are there the markers of deprivation, markers of social inequality, we will need to actually go into those communities and encourage usage through bike share schemes or work bike loan schemes through work through your pay packet, to actually, so people can own a bike without having to put so much upfront cost. But again, it's that 20-minute neighborhood, you go back to it, and in some neighborhoods shops have all gone. The deprivation levels are high, crime is usually high. Dealing with crime in those areas to encourage more businesses to move into those areas to help create those 20-minute neighborhoods. Having the Active Travel Fund building safe walking and safe cycle routes shows a belief in that area and will aid in encouragement of usage. Making sure we've got greener spaces and safe parks to use as well will add to those environments. Making sure public transport is cost effective and accessible for all is another element of that plan, so people can travel around the city region but also stay in their communities and be proud of their communities at the same time. So I was discussing recently the waste management system in Greater Manchester, and it goes off this, it moves away from the transport, but it does come back, I promise. And we spoke about incinerators, and we do incinerate too much of our waste in Greater Manchester, producing air pollution. So we do need to have a shift at that level to reduce and get rid of our incineration capacity and use more recycling and more reuse policies around our waste. But also, so that will have a wider impact on air pollution. The move towards electric vehicles are going to have a huge effect on air pollution, but we still have the particulate pollution. So reducing car journeys in total is going to be a key goal over the next few years. And the way we do that is through good, cheap, available, on time, efficient public transport. Buses that go where you need them to go, the tram network that doesn't shut down at the slightest flurry of snow, and the train system that comes into Greater Manchester and moves around Greater Manchester. These three public transport elements, should be managed together, and should have, for instance, a zoned charging system. We already have that on the tram system. Why don't we have it on the buses? Why don't we have it on the trains within Greater Manchester? So you can get on a train in Rochdale and you can travel down the line and then get on a tram to go down to Didsbury and then get on a bus to go to Heaton, the Heatons in Stockport. And you've crossed, say, 3 or 4 zones, and it's a single ticket cost that gets you on all 3 of them. We're not there yet with that, and that needs to be encouraged and pushed as quickly as possible. I mean, it's not undoable. Greater London has had the travel card system for years before they introduced the Oyster card. You know, Transport for London runs the buses, runs the tube, runs the trains that come into London and through London. So you can actually travel on all 3, including trams in Croydon as well, all 4 then, off that one ticket. Why can't we do that in Greater Manchester? So that is going to be a key element of encouraging more people onto transport by making it easier and more efficient and more cost effective for them.